So people coming from a traditional SOC, these should be common threads of thought that you have daily and conversations you have daily with your team. Most people we speak to are coming from a traditional SOC where they have security operations center deployed within their teams, and they have that deployed on premise or in someone else's data center at that point. But it's a more traditional non-cloud deployed or non-cloud native deployed service. These are common things that you would see that are giving the industry challenges as a whole. Looking at IT deployment and maintenance, being able to deploy services, to scale the services like we just talked about then, and being able to maintain these services, being able to take things down, patch things, looking after the environment is a big task for an IT team to have to look after as well. Sophistication of threats, as we get better, they get better. It's a common problem. The threats are becoming a lot more sophisticated with their delivery, and using someone like Microsoft. I'm sure you've probably heard along this week about how much Microsoft invests in cybersecurity and their capability within that framework. You being able to leverage their knowledge and their power within that sector is a must for most organizations. Let's use some of that investment that Microsoft have made that I can use within my team to start understanding some of the sophistications of the threats and threats to my organization as well. These environments are traditionally noisy. They generate a lot of alerts. They generate a lot of logs. It's always the conversation we have with customers is, from a cybersecurity practice and best practice implementation, we want to collect as much data as we can. I want to collect all the different data sources. I want to make sure that I've got a comprehensive view of what's going on within your estate. But with that volume of data comes a lot of noise, a lot of false positives. So what we want to be able to do is cut through that noise. The term can't see the wood for the trees and all that kind of thing. That's exactly what we're talking about here. We want to get to the source of the problem. We want to cut all that background noise and identify what is the source of this particular security incident. And this is ultimately where Sentinel can help you, and cloud delivered AI managed Sentinel will give you ultimate efficiencies there as well. Along with the ongoing operational deployment and maintenance is the ongoing infrastructure costs. Tin is getting more expensive. Shortages in chips and silicon, and you read the news. The infrastructure is becoming more and more expensive, and your investment in that infrastructure, if you're delivering this from an on-prem perspective as well, is becoming more, and that also aligns with financial delivery models as well. So operational and capex costs. People are moving away from capital expenditure into a more operational construct. So buying a piece of tin and drawing it down over 5 years is the way we used to do things, and most modern IT organizations and finance organizations are looking to move to a more operational expenditure model to be able to understand what your ongoing costs are and your investment in that tool and service as well. It's well known within I think the whole IT industry as a whole, but especially within security, there is a skill shortage. There's not enough security professionals in the UK in particular, but throughout the world. There is a global shortage, and all organisations need skilled security professionals. I think there's a recent report by the CSO magazine that showed that global talent shortage in this sector will increase to 3.5 million security jobs worldwide by 2021. So if you're out looking for security skills, everyone else is looking for security skills. It's a unique set of skills that lots of organizations are having as well. But what a tool like Sentinel does is it democratizes, kind of flattens the playing field for people being able to understand quite complex security mechanisms in the back end. It uses the same framework as most Azure services because it's delivered in a similar way. There's lots of training materials. There's lots of knowledge about that. So being able to upskill your teams that have different skill sets is a lot easier within this. So without you having to go out and buy a very expensive, Sentinel architect or operations manager, you can upskill your teams very quickly and efficiently to take advantage of the ease of use of the Sentinel platform as well. And a lot of on-premise services lack automation capabilities as well. So being able to file logic apps and integrate with things like Teams and ITSM products. Being able to, a simple incident that's logged, I want to be able to post a message into Teams. That should be quite a simple automation mechanism, but with some toolings that could be quite problematic to be able to do because you haven't got that connectivity, you haven't got that integration layer to fire that automation into some of the tooling that your operational teams use day in, day out. So ultimately, the cloud can help manage the complexities of that expanding digital estate, can also help simplify and make security easier to manage. Harnessing the power of the cloud will set your security operation teams free of that IT overhead of looking after tin maintenance, having to look after chucking disks at servers because you haven't got enough room for your logs, or worrying about bottlenecks of IOPS and things like that. Doing things at a cloud scale will remove that overhead as well. And more importantly, for me, this is why I find it greatly exciting, is leveraging that next generation of artificial intelligence and automation, which is going to help you identify threats quicker and remediate against threats quicker, because ultimately that's what we're here for. Being able to identify that your organization is under a threat and being able to mitigate that via an automated response. That's the ultimate game we're trying to get to. I don't want to know that a threat has been in there for weeks and it's been, we've been exposed to it for months and months, like you hear in some papers. I want to know, okay, I've identified a threat, fine, we've identified a threat, but we mitigated that, and here's how we've mitigated it. And it was all done while everyone was asleep, so we don't even need to worry about it. That's the nirvana we were trying to get to. And Azure Sentinel, Microsoft Sentinel is the tool that will get us there a lot quicker as well, and enabling your security operation teams to be able to deliver that value within your organization.